First and Now is back. We're on the BC Lions audio network. All kinds of platforms. Too many to list. Wherever you get your podcasts, bclions.com. Matt Baker, Nik Kowalski, Nicholas. Is that your full name, Nicholas?
Yeah, Nicholas, okay. Yeah. With a C, though. And don't ask why it's spelled N-I-K for short.
So I wondered
how it came about.
See, I wondered about that. See, you learn something new about your co-host every episode and every day.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's just the way it is.
Well, we're thrilled to be back. We're going to talk to a very special guest here in just a few minutes, but for starters, as always, we have to thank the good folks at IA Financial Group. IA Financial Group has over 125 years of experience helping Canadians. Proudly Canadian, IA Financial Group has over 7,000 employees and more than 4 million clients, serving Canadians with a foundation of trust from coast to coast. IA Financial, invested in you. Contact your financial advisor for more information. We're going to talk to Jordan Williams here on this episode. Most outstanding rookie he was in 2021 with the BC Lions. You and I were both there in Hamilton at the awards night. Very cool night. That was kind of my first opportunity to be behind the scenes at one of those events.
Yeah, like we were in the what was it called, the lockdown room?
The quarantine room. Yeah. I don't want to use the word quarantine given what we've gone through, but yeah, the lockdown room. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a paper beforehand stating the winners. I can say that, right? That's not like disclosed information, but what you can't disclose is the winners that you know beforehand. So you're watching the actual show. It's on like a screen in the room. Oh no, we were on our laptops. We were like
there was no TV screen.
Yeah,
that was
we were just watching it on our laptops, and we knew the spoilers in advance. So. Two BC Lions came home with hardware that night, too. Yeah,
Bo Lacombo, of course, the top Canadian. Ironically, Bo beating out someone who's once again his teammate for that award, in David Menard. I called Menard a few weeks ago, and I said, David! And he says, oh, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, I'm not going to do any more French accents on the show, but we're going to talk to Jordan, and one of the reasons we wanted to do this is it's always fun to sort of talk to somebody going into year two. How do you build off that success? How do you approach it differently? Do you approach it differently? And given that this is Combine Week, as we record this, Neil McAvoy, Rick Campbell, Kelly Bates, among others, are flying to Toronto for the National Combine. You know, I think most people listening recall Jordan's story. Was told because his mother was born in Toronto that he was eligible to go into the CFL draft. Ironically, it was a free agent camp with the Ottawa Red Blacks and Rick Campbell at the time. He chooses to go the draft route. As a result, he attends the Ontario Regional Combine and just puts up insane numbers. Right after that, the world shuts down, so there was no National Combine in 2020. Draft day, we swing a trade with Calgary for the first overall pick. Jordan Williams is a Lion. That's just kind of a crazy sequence of events, but I know you watched a lot of Lions games from afar last year. Just your overall thought of how Jordan stepped in and really contributed right away.
I thought it was pretty impressive. Well, he was a first overall pick, so that comes with a standard, right? But I think he definitely exceeded that. In terms
Not all first overall picks live up to that, right?
Yeah,
away,
well,
right?
I think the average football fan, they view a first overall pick as like an automatic stud, and that's always given the CFL draft. If you know past first overall picks, that's not always the case. But yeah, Jordan he had a fantastic year. It felt like pretty much every play in between the hash marks or even further out, it was either Jordan Williams or Bo Lacombo making the tackle, no matter what. So and obviously those are the two players who came home with the hardware on awards night there too. So going into a second season, like you hope that it's only going to get better for Jordan Williams, if that's even a thing. Like he was good all around, I thought, last year.
Yep, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to bring him on and talk about his plans for going in. Again, as we record this, about 8 weeks out of training camp and
54 days. Andrew Pearson reminded me of that today because he wears 54.
Good on Andrew. Andrew's always on the ball. So, we enjoyed our last episode with head coach Rick Campbell, kind of getting his read on the offseason, and now it's kind of on our end. We're trying to stay on top of things ahead of training camp. We're going to be rolling out a couple of cool content pieces that we're going to be excited to share with you, you the listener, you the fan, in short order here. So definitely heating up. The weather outside, a little rainy, a little gloomy. Doesn't really feel like football season as we like to know it yet, but it's coming up here quickly. Very quickly, before we bring Jordan in, we're going to hook up with him virtually from his home in North Carolina. Do you ever do this? Do you ever inadvertently leave your stopwatch on your iPhone running?
Yeah, we were just saying earlier that I've had times before where you open it up and it's like 2 weeks running, and you're like, oh yeah, I had that on for a 20-minute timer and just never took it off.
Well, don't know if I've ever done 2 weeks, but I was just trying to time something earlier, and it's like, oh, it's been 22 hours since I was in the gym, exercising, doing planks. Yeah. Insert joke wherever you like, but that's just one of those things. I think does that drain your battery faster? It must.
I'm not the guy to ask, but I don't know. It seems like I bet it takes up very minimal energy on your phone. So
there's some days where I find the battery drains faster than others. Maybe it's just one of those things. It's just feels like it. I don't know.
I bet it's less than having like 40 tabs open. Like you have all your apps open. Yeah. That I think that's probably worse.
Guilty of that too. My wife always says, "Oh, you gotta close those apps when you're done with it. You don't realize that you leave like 10, 12.
You realize it when your phone's at like 10% and you look and you're like, yeah, that makes sense.
We talked the last episode about you're relatively new to the city. You've gotten to explore some more recently. You've gone to a couple hockey games, I think. You've checked out some new restaurants. Any new highlights of the city?
First Canucks game. That'd be a highlight that I hadn't experienced back when we were with Rick Campbell their last episode, but I saw the Washington Capitals come into town to play Vancouver, and it was a pretty thrilling game, to be honest. Alex Ovechkin was inches away from passing Yager on the goal list.
That first Kuznetsov goal?
Second, yeah. Kuznetsov scored. Yeah. He scored Washington's 3 goals, and then Lars Eller won it in overtime, and immediately in overtime, actually. So I thought it was a pretty cool game. I really liked the venue, too. Like, nice big arena. Yeah. Really, atmosphere was good, so that was definitely the main highlight I've had in the last 10 or so days here.
And you're used to these arenas change all. What's the one in Winnipeg called now?
Canada Life Place.
Life Place, yeah.
Yeah.
I always knew that one as MTS Center and Bell MTS Place, I guess it was for a bit.
I think if there's anybody from Winnipeg listening, that I imagine that they refer to it as MTS Center too. Yeah. I still have that ingrained in my head.
It's like here, Rogers Arena, I think that's grown on folks the last few years, Rogers Arena. But when that changed from General Motors Place, I think people still called it GM Place for the longest time.
Well, as an outsider too, like there's Rogers Center in Toronto, so it still takes me like half a second to be like, okay, arena is Vancouver and center is Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another part of it. Now corporations have their names on multiple venues too, which kind of takes the spice out of it. It kind of takes the mystique out. With hey, we get how it works. Sports business, very big. Corporations pay a lot of money to slap their name on a side of a building. So, and I'm a little older than you. As mentioned, I lived in Winnipeg when I was in 3rd and 4th grade, and was lucky to see a bunch of games in the old Winnipeg Arena.
That's what it was called, right? The Winnipeg Arena, yeah.
Right, pretty much across or next door to the old football stadium.
Yeah, I saw the very last Manitoba Moose game at that arena. So that was like a big deal, and then obviously
Picture of the Queen. Was that still there? That was the hallmark of the Winnipeg Arena.
I do remember that. Yeah, back with the old Jets. Yeah,
good times. Hey, we can do a whole episode on our favorite venues. We very much look forward to it. I'm Matt Baker at BakesTakes84. Nik, your Twitter handle?
NIK_Kowalski.
NIK_Kowalski.
Do I have to spell it Kowalski?
No.
Okay.
I think people
with a K.
We mention you when we post these episode clips and everything. So your follower list should be growing by the day here, I would think. So first and now, the official BC Lions podcast, and we're going to welcome in Jordan Williams here in one moment. And now we're thrilled to be joined by the CFL's most outstanding rookie from 2021. In fact, broke the Canadian rookie tackle record set by Mike O'Shea. All of this in a shortened season, we should remind you, 14 games. And who knows, if we had more than 14 games, maybe could have been a bit more of a better ending for the BC Lions, but all eyes are on 2022 now, and Jordan is with us here on First and Now. First time talking to you since the awards in Hamilton, and what a fun night that was, Jordan. How are things going for you?
Oh, it's going pretty good. It's been amazing to have those accolades, to be over there in Hamilton. And it's good to talk to you guys today, too.
Yes, we got Nik Kowalski with us, so get used to seeing this guy around the facility this year. I'm just going to warn you now, Jordan.
Yeah, that's good that we got a new videographer and stuff like that, so we can start putting those hits out there on the internet, get those views up, get a high definition camera so we get things locked and loaded.
Well, you wait and see. We got some cool things that we're already planning that we're ready to roll out soon. Before we get into last year and preparation for this year, let's talk about the present. You're in Washington, D.C. I believe you've spent some time in Florida. Just give fans and listeners an idea of how productive the offseason's been, Jordan.
Absolutely. The season ended, you take a little break, but then it's back to work. People say football or the CFL is a part-time job. It's a full-time job for me. So I went down to Florida, got some training with my guy, Joey, down in Boca Raton, and he got me right. He's getting me faster, stronger, bigger, all that going into the 2022 season. So it's a great experience in this offseason.
As mentioned, that awards night, you were very, it's like, you looked like you were on cloud nine, and then it all comes crawling back to you, right? Everything your mom did to help you become a pro and mold you into the man you've become. You kind of have to pinch yourself to look back at everything that went right for you last season?
I wouldn't necessarily say pinch yourself. Have those affirmations every day that you're going to be great, you're going to do this, got to do that. So when you do it every day and you talk about it every day, and actually, like I said in Hamilton, speak it, believe it, receive it, it feels like, okay, I deserve this.
I wanted to ask about so it's obviously the off season still, and we're in March now. But about a month ago now, the Lions made quite a bit of additions to their roster, especially on the defensive side. Not in your positional group at linebacker, but the defensive line and defensive backs. They got multiple key players added to the team this year. So, were you monitoring that the day of, and what are your overall thoughts on the team's acquisitions and free agency?
Yeah, I glanced at those people that we added to our roster and things of that nature, and it's pretty good. We got guys that won championships at different other organizations coming over to BC. It's going to be a lot warmer here, so I know that was like a sales point to try to get them over here. But they also got some guys with some big money guys, so I know they're going to be productive and make the most out of their opportunity.
Mm-hmm. And what about Nathan Rourke? What did you see from him last year? I know he's kind of the hot topic around this province right now, just being the starting quarterback for the season going into camp. So what did you see from him last year as a rookie as well to see what he's got at the Canadian level?
Yeah, absolutely. Nathan, he's a great player. People haven't seen the best of him yet. We see him day in and day out in practice, and he's out there throwing to those receivers with Burnham, Lucky. They got some great guys to help support him as a supporting cast for Nathan. And he's also dynamic on the feet. So I don't think we've seen the best of Nathan yet. He has some stuff to work on, because he was a rookie last year, but I know he's working on those things in this offseason. I know he stayed in British Columbia for the most part, and he's a great, hardworking kid. And, he's got good things going for him coming up for this season.
And what about yourself? Like you say Nathan, obviously, you can always improve in the game of football. So you had a pretty spectacular season last year, obviously, but is there anything that you're looking to work on going into 2022?
Absolutely. I have some personal goals and some team goals also. I'll be glad to share with you guys privately, but not publicly. But yeah, there's a lot of things I could work on. As an athlete, you can't just say, okay, I'm this good, I'm that good, and I don't have things to work on. That's how you get stubborn, you get complacent. So you're always seeking to get better and better. So, guys don't come in this year and beat you out of your position.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were a second ago. You were talking about Nathan is in town. Michael O'Connor's in town. The old linemen are still here. They're still loud. Just so you know, they're downstairs here working out, and we can hear them most mornings. So that's a good sign, Jordan. That guys are loud and jacked up, right?
Absolutely, because before, some guys had trouble coming into the country last year around this time, this early, especially like the Americans and things of that nature. So now guys are making homes for themselves in Canada. The restrictions are lessened, and it's a great time to be alive here in 2022.
Yeah, well, it's night and day. Yeah, this time last year, we still didn't know if we were starting in June, July, August, what have you. And we got the 14 games in, and it was a good Grey Cup festival, like we talked about. It's also Combine Week, National Combine getting underway this week. Of course, the draft, as you know, a very important day on the Canadian Football League calendar. And just to refresh those folks' memories, you attended a free agent camp in Ottawa. We're told you could enter the CFL draft given your national status. Your mother was born in Toronto again. And you ended up going to the Ontario Regional right before the world kind of shut down in 2020, right? What stands out for you, Jordan, when you look back to that time at the Ontario Combine?
Particularly, I don't know what really stands out, but I just do remember this moment. After I did my 40, my broad jump, and it was time to go to position-specific drills with their pads and stuff, all the coaches huddled up. I'm like, what are these guys huddling up for? They huddled up for because this is right when the COVID situation really broke through with Rudy Gobert and the NBA shut down. I was like, yo, what are these guys huddling up for?
Yeah.
They came back and it was like, yeah, we're shutting down every combine, everything else for the rest of the year, basically. That was the last combine in Toronto. I was like, yo, I'm very fortunate to be in that position to showcase my talents before right after my workouts, they shut it down, So very, very fortunate. That's what stood up to me the most.
Yeah, it kind of went from 0 to 100 real quick, right? Steal a line from Drake. I mean, I remember I was in there's my music reference. I was in a meeting with the coaches. With Coach Rick had just taken over, right? New staff. And we were literally going through day by day training camp 2020. And then I basically get an email from a couple of our higher ups here. Okay, we better announce that we're basically shutting everything down. I'm like, oh shit, this is a serious situation. Like when you think back to that, Jordan, like you're talking about, to where we are now, knock on wood, getting more and more normal every day. That has to be a big blessing, does it not?
Absolutely. Very fortunate to be in this position to, play football, and like it's football that I'm playing. Like, is this even a job you get paid for, right? So I don't feel like it's a job to me, but people say it's a job. I feel like it's a hobby, and I get paid for it. So it's very fortunate.
I'm curious to know, obviously, we're going to be airing this before Friday's Combine this week. So, I mean, you obviously did well enough at the Combine and parlayed all that into a first overall selection. So what would one piece of advice you would have for maybe those going into their national Combine this week to maybe stand out? What's something that comes to mind?
Something that comes to mind is just be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else that you've seen on TV, somebody else that you've seen at some other combine. Just be yourself. And the advice I took for myself is I had nothing to lose and everything to gain. And when I came with that mindset, I was like, I'm just going all out on everything. If it's the 225 rep test, the 40-yard dash, I got everything, what I got to lose, right? So that's what I came with. And it ended up working out for me. So that's what I say to the guys going into this 2022 Combine.
I know you said you'll save your goals for another day, but going into year two, Jordan, I don't want to say it's going to be easier. Professional football is never easy, but how much are you looking forward to the fact that, I mean, you've kind of been here, you know the routine, you know Kamloops. Do you take some comfort in that, knowing that you've kind of survived year one and now you're just ready to get even better?
Absolutely. Coming in, I was looking around like a wide-eyed freshman going into their college year and things of that nature. I was looking around, I'm like, Kamloops, everything was foggy because of the wildfires and things of that nature. And it was I wouldn't say culture shock because I'm used to moving around and things of that nature, but it was a little bit different. Practicing with it, like I said again, with the smoke, you could see the ashes coming off people's heads and things of that nature when they sweat. But the team camaraderie and everybody just, welcoming you with open arms really made it easier. So going into year 2 with that is actually going to help more because we even have a stronger bond. And we got a lot of guys returning for this 2022 season.
And lots of improvements on defense, like Nik here outlined a minute ago. Hey, I want you to tell that great story again. You've talked about your mother, Astra, and how much she influenced you, and leading up to the awards, and we had all this content planned in the event that you won, which you did. You shared a great story about your mother when you were a youth football player and you didn't want to go to a pizza party. What was that story about? Retell that one for some of our listeners who maybe didn't see that article.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want to go to a pizza party because our team was doing pretty bad. We was losing. They were all like celebrating, I'll say like 500, not even 500 feet, like 100 yards away from us. And my mom was like, "Oh, what you doing, boy?" I'm not going. We suck. We kept losing. She's like, "You don't take your tail over there and eat the pizza with your team." Because at the end of the day, you're not going to quit under my belt. So, she got me back right. She made me look at things at a different way in a limelight. Like, you can't just quit and give up because your team is doing bad. You got to keep your head up and go strong. And I went back and played football. So I didn't quit football and I just kept balling.
Never known a football player at any level to turn down free pizza too. So your mom's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. She was about to tear up. Like, if I didn't go, I'd probably have been the end of me.
And I mean, growing up, she was obviously your main influence, but any other parental figures or influences that you always had in your corner growing up when you were trying to pursue all your dreams, Jordan?
Like parental, probably like mentors and things of that nature that helped me out going up. High school, Coach Bailey, college, Ruffin McNeil, those guys really helped put blueprints into my character and things of that nature, and put my principles and my core values of life and how I apply it to not just football, to real life too. So those guys really helped me.
And I know Nik has one or two more for you, I think, but I know COVID, like we talked about, obviously played a big role last year. Is the plan for your mother to come up and see a game or two in Canada this year? Is that the goal, Jordan?
Absolutely. She came to see a couple of games. I know one of the games that she saw, I went player of the game at home against Edmonton. So she was very proud of that.
Oh, she was there.
But, yeah. But we ended up not winning. So she was kind of mad at that also. So I'm talking about the first Edmonton game, not the second one at home. But yeah. So she's definitely going to map out some times, God willing, to come watch me play.
And there'll be a lot more chances to get out and explore the city with things being more open now.
Mm-hmm. And you haven't been to Canada in a couple of months, right? So I'm just curious. And we were talking about Kamloops and the ashes on people. So that's not maybe a fond memory of Canada. But what are the things you're missing from Canada right now? Or what are you looking forward to seeing when you come back?
Looking forward to seeing people being like more friendlier. A lot of people say that about Canadians. They're definitely more friendlier. People taking off their dirty shoes in the house. I know that's a tradition that people have in Canada. Also, it's a little, little things like culture shock, things like that. What else is? There's a couple of little things that I can't really think about it right now, but definitely the friendlier people. The shoes, the food is pretty good, especially out in Vancouver. They got a variety of foods, especially like Asian or type of food. Like those are pretty good to myself. I love that type of food.
Awesome. All right, I'll put you on the spot here then. So I'm pretty new to Vancouver. Give me like one or two recommendations for one of these food places that you just mentioned.
One or two. It's been a while. What is it? Triple O's. You ever heard of Triple O's?
Nope.
Adam Konar, he always say Triple O's. You gotta go to Triple O's with his accent. You gotta go to Triple O's. That's really good. It's pretty good. You get the double cheeseburger. I don't eat swine though, so yeah. You just tell them no pork.
Yeah, Triple O's is the white spot burger. You've heard white spot.
I know
That's
White
a
Spot,
that's a
yeah.
British Columbia staple.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
We got to go this week. I see these guys in the sales office. They're taking you to like the pub. They're taking you for sushi. I mean, sushi's good, but
Burger and fries.
you got to
can't go
go.
wrong.
And then that was a great Konar impression. That was good. And taking off dirty shoes, that's just part of the Canadian polite thing, I guess, Jordan. I guess that is, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wearing shoes in the house, right? Like that whole thing too.
Well, he's talking about dirty shoes. You take them off. I guess maybe that doesn't happen as much down in the States. I don't know.
Not at all. You're not really taking shoes off in the house in the States. Like, it's not like you visiting somebody, you just keep your shoes on. In Canada, that's like something you got to be accustomed to doing. It's different. So
there you go.
Oh yeah, and then one other thing, I did want to bring this up. Another thing is when you go to like a Canadian restaurant and you get like a mug or like water or juice, they don't give you a straw because they're trying to save the environment. So you ask for like a straw and they come out with this fancy looking straw, right? It looks really good. It's stiff. And then you drinking it and it just turns to paper because it's a paper straw. So you like eating paper basically. So that's the difference because you're not accustomed to getting straws in Canada, but in the US, you're always going to get a straw with whatever you drink. That's one thing that's different.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was just a COVID thing where they stopped doing that. I don't know what that. Yeah, that's interesting though. Yeah. Well, we know. Hey, there's going to be lots of time for you to explore again once you're up here. But yeah, you should see this guy's Instagram here. He's like downtown, black and blue steakhouse, living it up on Alberni Street. He's really experiencing the fine locations in Vancouver, Jordan. It's impressive.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful city here, so gotta make it count. It doesn't make an everyday count.
Less snow than Winnipeg too, which is where you're from.
Well, from my experience, no snow. We'll see.
That's cool.
We'll see. Yeah. This has been great, Jordan. But you just counting down now, planning to be up here first week of May. What's your immediate plans?
My immediate plans when I get back in Vancouver or Kamloops, get in front of that 4K camera that my boy gonna have me on. I'm gonna be out there with my lucky white head hat and twirl it around.
Oh, the propeller, yeah.
Yeah, the propeller. I'll just gonna make some contact.
See, I mean, we got someone right here. We need some new faces of the organization now. Well, people know who you are now, Jordan. So
I like to hear it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, 4K. Get it 4K. This will be a very much a high tech production. I like these ideas.
There's a 4K camera right above us right now. So
that's what's up. We're moving in the right direction. You feel me?
You'll see once this gets posted. Listen, sir, great to talk to you. Again, it was an honor to be there chronicling your awards night. And we look forward to some more hardware in 2022 and beyond.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you.
And we're back to wrap things up. First and Now on the Lions Audio Network, available on whichever podcast platform you prefer. And great stuff with Jordan Williams there. That was awesome stuff.
Yeah, it was great to hear from him and great to meet him as well too. But I also learned. I think we learned a lot. We learned a lot about. I learned his story about the pizza party. That was my first time actually hearing it. I'll admit. But also the Canadian conversation I thought we had at the end about different things that are different within America and Canada. I thought that was some interesting stuff too.
Yeah, always fun to talk to him, and definitely an important piece for this Lions team going forward. And just, yeah, I mean, it's incredible accolades. I mean, breaking Mike O'Shea's record, and really turned into one of the more impactful Lions defenders, not just rookies. I mean, previous years, the linebacking core since the days of Solomon Elamimian and Adam Bighill, Team 100, love both guys. That was kind of lacking from that position, and now we're in good hands. I mean, no matter who ends up being the nickel, training camp will tell a big tale there. In decent hands with both Bo Lacumbo and Jordan Williams for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, do they got a nickname yet? There's always the 21 problems that you could go with Jordan Williams' number. And something about that 21 in BC too, hey?
Yeah.
Ryan Phillips.
Yep.
Not Jordan Williams.
Yeah, RP. And we got to get RP on one of these episodes. You want some great stories. RP is prime for that. Next week, in fact, coaches will be here. Rick Campbell, the entire staff. So if it doesn't feel like it's on, it's going to be on next week when all the coaches are up here in this office. And we'll have to look to sit down with one or two of them. Maybe Henry Burris. Got to get Hank on one of these future episodes. Named last week as the Lions' offensive consultant. So lots of stories on that staff. I mean, we should do a roundtable. Get guys like Burris, RP, John Bowman, Kelly Bates. That would be kind of a cool little idea. We could just set up the mics and leave and go for a coffee and let them have it.
Yeah, see what we got after.
Good stuff. Matt Baker, Nik Kowalski again. We're on Twitter at First and Now. It's the number 1 ST and now. At Bakes Takes 84. At Nik_Kowalski.
Yeah, NIK.
All right.
Keep repeating it.
Episodes from last week, this week, previously, all available for download and listening in your favorite podcast platform. This has been First and Now, and we'll be back next week talking all things Lions.